Welcome back, everybody, to the Pitch Invaders football podcast. We'd like to begin today rubbing some salt in the wounds of every person that talk trash. And we'll start with Christian first because I finished the Fantasy Premier League season. I beat him 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And then I was 1 point ahead of him, and then he lost the last game week. But after 6 months of him being in first place, I have finished first.
36
my
weeks
first
ahead.
Pick, yeah.
36
my first
weeks.
pick,
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah, that I got all the beef about because everybody said you should pick Haaland, came out as the top scorer in Premier League, I think in fantasy history. So how about that?
Congratulations, Max.
I have no response, man. I bottled it. I knew my team wasn't as good as yours, and I thought maybe I could hold on until the end of the season. But you had a beast of a team this year. You had the best fantasy player. You added really good players throughout the season. I couldn't get any trades done with anybody. I couldn't pick up any good players because I was at the top every single week. It just was a struggle, and I just had to hold on until the end of the season. Everything started falling apart, starting with Postecoglou not playing James Madison. That
was surprising.
My 7-Eleven owner did the best he could. Brian Embuemo, he did the very best he could. He played his heart out. I'm going to be mentioning him later in this episode. Yeah. But kudos to you, so. Max. You had the best team. You had the best drafts. And you know what, dude? Honestly, I said in the beginning of the year, because everyone's like, oh, Christian's way ahead. He's got this. And what did I keep saying? I kept saying, this is a marathon, not a race. But our league is stuck at fantasy, and they keep living for the week. They're bad fantasy players. Okay? We need to start having relegation. I'm dead. Dude, I'm dead. We need to start having relegation.
Dude, I'm ready for it. I mean, we would get George Meta and Matt would get relegated.
I'd relegate Matt tomorrow because he kept players that were out like after the first month. In his
he has like 4 injured players.
Yeah. So
he just lived for the Newcastle games.
You know what's the worst is all these guys. I'm so busy. I just don't have time to set a lineup. Dude, you can take a dump in the morning and set your lineup in 5 minutes. Don't come out with me like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm in a fantasy football league with a priest who has a child. And he puts more effort into that league than some of you gives him. So I'm calling you guys out right now. Do better or get relegated. That's all I have to say.
Tell me about it.
Congrats, man.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do you guys want to get into the, I guess, is it our opinion of the best 11 of this Premier League season?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Can we
Much anticipated.
Do we have any idea of what type of formation we're running here?
I think it was just up to us, whatever team we wanted. I mean, if we wanted 5 midfielders, we could go with it.
All right, so should we do every individual person does their 11, or we go position by position?
We could do position by position. I think it's better, actually.
All right, let's start then. Who do you guys have for goalkeeper?
We should all have Matt Sells.
Nah. Maybe you have Matt Sells, but I don't have Matt Sells, bro.
I have David Raya. Honestly, I thought he had an amazing season. Overall, and without him, I think Arsenal would have finished wouldn't have gotten a lot of the points that they have gotten this season.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't really a surprise for me that David Raya was good. I think I don't know. What do you have, Christian?
So I'm sorry, you had Matt Sells. Can you give me your kind of reasoning behind that?
Well, I just thought he was pivotal. I mean, the defense, Nottingham Forest defense, but him as well were pivotal to Nottingham Forest's resilient. Up until when they crashed, it started crashing in March or something. Right. He was a key part of it. I mean, the stops that he was having, the clean sheets. I mean, he was making unbelievable saves.
Yep.
I mean, and nobody really even knew who Matt Sells was.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves it. Obviously, we know David Raya and we know Alisson are top class. But I don't think they were part of their. I mean, I think I put a lot of credit to Matt Sells for Nottingham Forest's, defensive performances.
I like both of your picks because those are the two goalkeepers with the most clean sheets this season. They both had 13 clean sheets. The guy I picked, though, he's got 12 clean sheets, okay? And he goes by the name of Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford is my pick for goalkeeper of the season because if you look at clean sheets and then if you also look at saves. Now, if we're talking about saves, Mark Flecken had the best season, man. He had 153 saves this season. That is 28 more than second place. Aaron Ramsdale had 125. Obviously, we have to take saves into context because Aaron Ramsdale is second, but he plays for Southampton. They're constantly getting peppered with shots. So that's why I didn't really – my formula wasn't just about saves. It wasn't just about clean sheets. I kind of tried to combine the two. So when you look at saves, Jordan Pickford's third with 122 saves, and then he's got one less clean sheet than the two guys you mentioned. And the argument that I would make is he's on a less talented team, a more defensive-minded team. Well, I suppose Nottingham Forest, you could make the argument, is very defensive-minded as well. But I like
Everton's more.
Raya. I looked at it as like, man, if he's got Saliba and Gabrielle in front of him, that's a hard choice. And then when it came down to Sells and Pickford, and I just figured Pickford is like top 3 in clean sheets and in saves, so that's why I went with him.
I mean, Pickford has been one of the top performing goalkeepers in the past like 4 or 5, like fantasy. I'm talking about fantasy, but in general, like Premier League seasons. I mean, he's a beast. That's the reason he's England's number 1. So I don't, I think that's a pretty good shout.
Yeah.
It's cool that we all picked a different one.
Obviously, honorable mention Mark Flecken for having the most saves. Like that's pretty impressive for him.
Yeah.
He was
pivotal.
That's pretty cool. You're right, Max. We all had different choices. That's pretty cool.
I wasn't expecting it.
I don't think we're going to have different choices for this next position, though.
We may.
No, I don't think.
Are we talking about center backs?
I was going to say start with the right back.
Right back. Okay.
Yeah, let's do right back.
Okay.
Who's picking first?
I'll go first.
You go, Christian.
I have to give it to him. Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace is the
That's what I picked.
Player this year.
That's what I picked.
He was so important in building the attack for Crystal Palace, and they were all a strong defensive team this year. I think he's also tops in the league in tackles, just like winning the ball and dispossessing people. So the combination of his defensive prowess and his attacking ability this season, he was the man for me. So that's my guy for this year.
I had the same.
Okay.
Amir, I don't know about you.
I actually picked Jurriën Timber because I thought he offered a lot of flexibility to the Arsenal team in defense and in attack. That he replaced Ben White too, which was a tough one. Yeah, so I thought he had one of his best seasons.
I was also Ola Aina. If I'm pronouncing his name right. I didn't watch a lot of Nottingham Forest games. I'm from what you have him written. He's an honorable mention.
My honorable mention.
Honorable.
Everybody has an honorable mention,
Yeah, it's just Munoz was too good for me not to pick him ahead of, like the attacking ability of Munoz is kind of shocking.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Estupiñán 2 years ago, but on another level.
Yeah.
More consistent. So
the pace and accuracy, the combination of pace and accuracy of his crosses into the box is really, really amazing. I think any team would be lucky to have him.
Yeah. All right.
You guys want to go to the 2 center back spots? I don't know if you guys want to do a right-footed one, left-footed one, whatever.
I think we're going to all agree on one for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amir.
Virgil van Dijk.
Van Dijk, for sure.
Yes. He's the key. He is the key part of our defense that made everything happen.
Yep.
That's undeniable.
He's the best in the world. He's been the best in the world, and he's going to continue being the best in the world until the wheels fall off. I don't know.
I mean, talk about a captain, dude.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of senior players, but this guy stepped up and led this team, from back to front.
And he definitely lifts up whoever is playing beside him too. So that's key.
Yeah, he makes Kwanzaa looks like he's like $40 million striker center back, but
that's funny.
The second one I had Milenkovic.
Okay.
Oh,
for
can I just
Nottingham
mention?
Forest.
Sorry to jump
Yeah.
in there, but just like one last thing about Virgil, he's the only player in the Premier League this season with 14 clean sheets. He's the only one. So
Oh, okay. That's because he's
the
never
most.
benched.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So,
yep.
yeah.
So you said Milinkovic?
That was I had to throw one of the Nottingham Forest defenders in there
You're
because
you're
he's just
making me
so
think.
good.
Honorable mention as well.
He's just so good. And
I,
Murillo was also good, but I think the attacking ability as well of Milinkovic is something that can't go for unnoticed, you know.
Yeah.
guys, I haven't picked a single Nottingham Forest player.
You've hated, dude. You've hated
But
Nottingham.
I'm gonna have
I
an
didn't-
honorable mention. I'm gonna have
to
an
be
honorable
honest,
mention.
To be fair, I did not pick any of them as well, but I do have them in several honorable mention spots, you know? So, yeah. All right, Amir, who's your second center back?
I know this one. He didn't really play as a center back, but I still put him as my second center back at Kirkes. I thought he like a left-footed defender that was very solid in defense, and also he has shown a lot of good potential in attack. I thought he was extremely fast, pretty solid. I think he is the best in that Bournemouth defense, so that's why I picked him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I went with a back four, so I have two center backs on mine as well as a left back. So I saved the left back spot open there. But I went for my other center back. I went with Saliba. I feel like that's kind of chalk. But
I think Gabriel is my honorable mention. I think Gabriel's way better than Saliba, at least this season, I would say.
Really?
I thought, like even scoring, I thought Gabriel had a better, like he scored a lot more goals. He was more solid.
Yeah.
I felt Saliba was a bit rusty this season, to be honest. Overall.
There's probably some games like that. My only pushback would be I feel like Saliba gives Gabriel the opportunity to because he feels more like the risk taker. Like he takes chances, goes in and with like dangerous challenges. And to be fair, Gabriel has won a lot of those this year. He's had a phenomenal season. I think they just renewed his contract actually, but I feel like his ability to do that is predicated on having Saliba to cover his back. But obviously the goal scoring, Gabriel stands by himself when it comes to goal scoring. He just has a natural born ability to score goals. So I'm not upset with the Gabriel pick. Saliba and Virgil just feel like the chalk. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with Gabriel in that spot as well. You know.
And I think Murillo deserves an honorable mention. At least I think I'm throwing some Nottingham Forest players in there. I think he was really good.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing, a couple other players that were good, but, I think that's good.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Max,
left back.
Who do you got for left back?
Okay, so this was a hard one for me to pick, but I decided I have one player on honorable mention, but the player I decided to go with was Anthony Robertson from Fulham.
That's my pick too.
Me too.
The 10 assists were amazing, and the captain. I mean, he is a solid captain for that team.
Yeah.
It was in between Kirkes and him for me. It was up in the air. And Nico Williams was also good, but not even in. I wouldn't put him in that competition. But I decided to go with Robinson.
Yeah, I had Robinson, and then I had Kirkes as my honorable mention as well. The 10 assists, I don't know. He kind of that team kind of became his team this season. It felt like, So I wanted to give him some props for that, So I thought I would be looking at one of the top clubs at the left back position, but he just really put the team on his back this season and made Fulham not an easy outing every time the team visited them.
Yeah,
I think for my honorable mention would be Guardiola, which I
I was
thought
gonna say that.
he did really good. Like in terms of offering in attack, he didn't really impress me in defense this year, I would say, but his effect in attack, at least, in the beginning of the season, he was important for us.
Yeah,
100%. I agree. 100%.
All right, boys. So we got the back five set up. Now we got to move on to the midfield.
Yes.
I'm starting with the defensive midfield spot, like that sixth role, and pretty easy. I went with Gravenberch. I feel like he's been unbelievable this season. I did think it was weird that I had Virgil van Dijk and Gravenberch because those are two defensive choices. And I looked at it, I was like, well, Liverpool was not this like stalwart defense that requires to have 2 in the 11. But when I was going through all those defensive midfielders, it came down to him and Caicedo for me, actually. And I just went with Gravenberch because I thought he had a better. Yep. I just thought he had a better overall season. Obviously, it's hard to pick out like stats for defensive midfielders because a lot of the stuff they do doesn't show up in the box score. But just controlling the pace of the game, holding down the midfield, dominating possession, and everything that Liverpool did this season, top to bottom, I thought he was the best this season.
Yeah, I agree. I went with Gravenberch as well.
Okay.
I don't. For my holding midfielder, I think the performances and the change that he had this season was, I was kind of ready to write him off already. I mean, he wasn't a key player, but he completely revitalized that midfield.
I picked Baliba. It just the personality he brought onto the field for that Brighton team. I thought like it was refreshing. It was nice to see. It was nice to see a young new player come in and have that personality, be able to dictate the game, even score goals, and be that strong in defense and in attack. So I thought I would pick him for this season.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Very good choice. Very good choice. Okay, this next midfielder, it's gonna really hurt me to name this guy because it really, actually, the next two I have are really gonna break my heart. But this one is more immediate. I went with Morgan Rogers.
Okay.
I just think he's been so. I mean, if you look at the goal contributions, I got to pull it up real quick. But he was like tops in the league in terms of goal contributions. I felt like he really. I didn't feel Ollie Watkins' presence this season overall. But if you just look at Aston Villa, they just keep winning, and I just felt like it was because of Tielemans and Morgan Rogers first and foremost. So. I thought he was the best player on the team this year. They finished playing in Europe. I thought that deserved some praise, so I went with Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, I actually went with him in my cam position as well.
That's funny.
I pulled a Pep Guardiola. I didn't put him in cam actually, but I'm gonna leave it like in the positions, like in the attack.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can already guess where I put him.
What, on the wing? Or center? CDM?
I put him as a left winger.
Oh, you know what? That's not bad because left wingers are kind of rough this year. Yeah,
it's kind of like it reminds me of Jack Grealish back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I just think I don't know how much. You guys probably have the stat of how much did they buy him for? I mean, he came from a team that wasn't even that well known. I don't remember. I don't want to open football, but like
he's a City Academy player.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course,
he was amazing for Aston Villa.
10 million a season. Isn't that? I don't know why I'm thinking like 10 million pounds is what they got him for.
Yeah,
just like the steal of the season, like 10 million pounds, I think is what they got him for.
Yeah,
I have to check. You guys keep talking. I gotta check.
Well, who else did you pick, Max? Because I have two more players.
Third, so I went with two holding midfielders and Morgan Rogers as the cam. I had my second holding midfielder as I think everybody has Declan Rice. I just he's Arsenal's most important player, I think, in the midfield. Maybe up front, after Saka and Gabriel, and I just think he really held that team up, and he acted like he was the captain. I mean, he scored goals when they needed it. In the most important times, he was very clutch. So, yeah, I had him as the second midfielder.
Yep.
Good pick. Yeah, I actually picked Declan Rice as well, but I picked him as a second midfielder. I wanted to play him in that 8th position, and then I picked my third midfielder is Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
I thought he was key.
The reason I didn't pick him is because he had a blip. I mean, he had a goal drought for 4 months.
Yeah, I
remember
whatever he did was enough to get Chelsea 4th place. So
that's true.
I actually went with Palmer over Rice. So I got basically two cams. I've got Morgan Rogers and Palmer in mind. And again, I was leaning Declan Rice, but I just like Declan Rice was unbelievable, and I think he was worth the fee they paid, and that all that good stuff. Yeah. But Palmer, I still look at Chelsea every time I watch a Chelsea game. I was like, Palmer is that entire team, and I had to give him some points for that. I think he's had 23 goal contributions. Hoisted a trophy, although it's a Conference League trophy. But, so I started
to the Champions League.
Yeah. So, like, if I was to play my 11, Gravenberch would really have to get his cardio up. He's going to do a lot of running, So, but, I went with Palmer on that side.
Okay. I like it.
Nice.
Probably the easiest choice of this entire starting 11.
Yes,
right winger.
Right wing.
Do we have to...
Mo Salah.
Salah.
Down the wing.
Mo Salah, 47 goal contributions this year in the Premier League. Won the title, was the best player in the world this season, in my opinion.
He's a beast,
front
man.
to back. And then I had honorable mention in Mbeumo because he had an unbelievable season, but it got shadowed by Salah having a historic season. So
yeah,
I had Mbeumo and Anthony Elanga also as well.
Yeah,
I think they're both unlucky that they have Salah on the right wing because they're never going to get chosen for any best Premier League teams by anybody.
Yeah. Elanga is definitely my honorable mention as well.
Nice, good stuff.
I mean, Mbeumo's a beast, so I hope he's going to get snapped up by another team.
You think so?
If Salah wasn't there, Mbeumo's the best right wing in the league.
That's true.
How he's playing.
Yeah.
You're just like a quick recall. Do you guys remember when Brentford was scoring for 5 weeks in a row in the first 30 seconds?
10 seconds, probably. Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? Like it's kind of funny that happened, but we completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And Mbeumo was part of it. So yeah.
True. Amir, how do you feel about Mbeumo now?
I still feel the same way. He probably overperformed, in my opinion.
Yeah. He definitely peaked the season for sure.
Yeah.
This is
I'm definitely not picking him in fantasy next year either. I'll
never
play him.
No, I mean this is his chance to get a big contract and get a big pay raise and just move on. I know he's pretty loyal to Brentford, but this is you don't want to make the same mistake Ivan Toney did, and then your options are just to go to Saudi, right? So maybe he needs to strike while the iron is hot, right?
I agree.
All right, let's do left winger because that was probably the hardest position for me to figure out. Max, where did you go with left winger?
So left winger, based on position, I went with Eze. Eze is a left winger.
Interesting. Okay.
In at least in football, that's he does play left winger as well. In I guess he kind of plays like a left forward sometimes. It's usually him and whoever guy on the right, and then
Mateta.
So I mean, Mateta, and then who's the
Ismaila
Sarr. Yeah. So they both of them play behind Mbeumo. Mateta.
Mm-hmm.
So Eze for me, I think he had an amazing season. He kind of had some dry spells, but he would always pick it up, and I mean he's the reason that they won the trophy.
Right.
Yeah. Good pick.
I think he's a beast.
Yeah.
There wasn't really many other players.
Left wing was dry.
Yeah, I was struggling with that one too, but I that's why I put Morgan Rogers in there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, for me, I was struggling with that position too. Usually it's a lock for Son, but he kind of had a down season this year.
Martinelli was bad.
Martinelli was bad.
Is average. I mean,
Doku didn't do enough in my opinion. I went with Cunha because I know he played mostly attacking midfielder / striker, but left wing sometimes in a pinch. So I just need a reason to fit him in the team because he just had such an unbelievable season that I need to have him in there. So he's my left winger for all intents and purposes.
I'll take it.
You should have put Garnacho.
Oh, my favorite player. What a great player. Yes. All right. And then another one that's probably easy in our final spot, striker position. What do you guys got?
The
Isak,
beast.
man.
Yeah.
Isak all day.
Isak.
Honorable mention to Wisa and Jared Bowen.
I did
And
Isak, honorable mention, Chris Wood, and Erling Haaland.
Chris Wood, I can find. We don't need to mention all. But yeah, Chris Wood. Chris Wood definitely does deserve that. Yeah. Dude,
you guys have anything different?
You had the same thing, right, Amir?
Yeah. For Chris Wood.
You don't have any honorable mentions. You never mention anybody honorably.
All right, last one.
I had.
No, go ahead.
Who will be the coach of the season?
That's what I was going to ask. Coach of the season, man. You have to go with Arne Slot, right? First season with the team, like.
I don't know, man.
Should we pick someone else?
For me, I'm kind of just feeling of what Nuno Santos did with Nottingham Forest. It's kind of
you're a Nottingham Forest fan.
Yes.
This team was in relegation. This team finished 17th place last season, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they could have easily been relegated. I just think the fact that if they won one game, they would have been in 5th place,
Yeah.
That's how close they were to being in, like, Europa or Champions League. So, like, it's kind of amazing what they've done, and I don't think any manager could have just walked in and did that. And I know the players overperformed, but I think a manager has a big part to play in that. Slot, Slot is amazing. I think he has done amazing with this team, but for me, I just have to mention Nuno Santos for Nottingham Forest.
I have an honorable mention for coaching. Okay? David Moyes. Okay? Taking that team, coming in mid-season, and turning that, like, fixing that team enough to where they're not, because the last 3 years they were sweating on the last day of the season, about to get relegated or whatever, and they went out. They finished 13th this season. I got to think if Moyes was there in the beginning, this is a team that probably could finish in the top half of the league, maybe. So I thought he really did a good job of turning them around, spirits are high there. They just said goodbye to their stadium, but they're opening a new stadium, and finished better. They got some good young talent there. I don't know.
They're onto something, man. They could be finishing upper half of the table.
Sure.
Back where they used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who knew Moyes was the solution the whole time?
I know, right? Yeah. Amir, you got any honorable mention coaches?
Erik Ten Hag. He finished 8th place before he left.
You guys aren't going to mention Pep Guardiola?
No. Disastrous season, honestly.
Not one of his best seasons, man.
Yeah. Terrible season.
But the standards for him are so high, so that's why we love him,
Yeah.
And Chelsea, Maresca, not really mentioned.
He had a good season. I would list him as an honorable mention, honestly.
Yeah, Amir loves him.
Not really.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys want to get into the Champions League final now? I think we did. Well, let's read them out. Let's all actually read out our 11s first, and then we can move on to Champions League final.
Okay, I like that.
All right. So for Christian, I have Pickford in goal. I had Munoz as my right back, Saliba and Virgil van Dijk as my center back pairing, and Anthony Robinson. In my midfield, I have Cole Palmer in the 10, Morgan Rogers in the 8-ish, I suppose, and Gravenberch as the 6. And for my front three, I got Salah on the right, Cunha on the left, and Isak up the middle.
I love it. Okay, I can go. I have Matt Sells in goalkeeper. I have a back four. Left back to right back is Anthony Robertson, Van Dijk, Milenkovic, and Daniel Munoz. And then I have 3 midfielders. 2 holding midfielders are Declan Rice and Gravenberch. And Morgan Rogers is the cam. And then left up 3, I have Eze at left wing, Isak, and Mo Salah. And then you can say the manager will be the Nottingham Forest manager.
Nice. Right, for me, goalkeeper David Raya, left back to right back Robinson, Kirkes, Virgil van Dijk, and Jurien Timber. Two center midfielders, Baliba and Declan Rice, and Cam Cole Palmer. Left wing, Morgan Rogers. Right wing, Mo Salah. And in striker, Isak.
Solid.
Nice.
Solid teams.
Love
I
it.
think my team would beat you guys' teams, but we don't have to get into that.
Let's see how many we get next year when we do the fantasy draft.
Sounds good. All right, boys, let's get into this Champions League final. What do you have?
Let's do it. What do you guys think? Would you ever would you have ever expected that Champions League finalists would be Inter Milan and PSG at this point?
I mean, I knew PSG was good. I didn't expect Inter Milan to beat Barcelona. I'll be honest. I was expecting Barcelona to win the whole thing.
Me too.
They were really good. They were really strong. Honestly, it was a surprise for everyone. But Inter Milan showed that they are up for the challenge. The way they played was phenomenal against that team. They never gave up. So I think
we know
they
where the
deserve a
final's
spot.
being played? Where's the final being played?
It's played in Munich, Germany.
Okay. Are we going with predictions?
I don't know. How do you guys think the game is gonna play first? Like, who's gonna be more? Who's gonna try to score the first goal? Like, how do you guys think each team's gonna set up?
I think Inter is probably going to set up in more of a counter-attacking style, like let PSG have the ball, and PSG is going to try to score as many goals as possible with their front three. And I think Inter will just sit back and defend and then try to get them on the counter-attack, and that's going to be their way of... It's going to be basically how Crystal Palace beat us in the FA Cup final.
Really?
That's how I see them playing, but, yeah. What about you guys?
You go first, Amir, because you're the tactician.
I was gonna say the way Inter Milan played those two Barca games actually surprised me because they were the ones like you would always think Barca are the ones that are going all attack and they're gonna try to score the first goal, but Inter Milan was very aggressive in attack at the first 10-15 minutes to score that first goal at the beginning, and that makes the game a lot easier for them. Even when they try to defend. Of course, Barca, we know, they are the kings of coming back anyway. So they always found a way to come back from a 2-0 down and try to tie the game and win it. But I feel like with that Inter Milan versus PSG, I feel like Inter is gonna try to play the same way, maybe aggressive at the beginning, 10-15 minutes, try to get an early goal. And the reason why I think that it might work is just because PSG, while they're a very solid team, they're I feel like Inter Milan's fast counters or fast transitions is gonna beat PSG's transition because they play really high defensive line and high pressure. And with Inter Milan's ability to actually produce a counter attack with that accuracy that we have seen against Barca, I believe we're gonna find a lot of space in that in that PSG's defensive line that Inter Milan might be able to score a first goal or so. What also worries me the most about that PSG team is while they're able to attack in an aggressive way and they have a lot of options, they still waste a lot of chances too.
Yeah, they do.
And I feel like they haven't really played against a team that is very solid defensively to be a good test for them.
Right.
Which we know Inter Milan are really solid. They have a really solid defensive line. They have a solid keeper. So it would be interesting to see if PSG will actually be able to beat Inter Milan and try to score goals to come back or even take the lead.
Yeah. I think this is a neck and neck game. I mean, I completely agree with everything you just said, Amir, and Christian. I think Inter Milan, and if the Italian football is very slow, they'll use that strong defense to their advantage and the strong midfield, and I think they will build up slow. I don't really see them as a fast counterattacks, but I think that they will handle all PSG's attacks and take the moments when they come. And whether that's transitions and, you know, building off of mistakes from PSG. I think I see that PSG would be doing a lot of attacking, but I agree with Amir that they're going to be wasting chances, and I don't. As much as I want the romantic win, PSG finally gets a Champions League win. I'm kind of seeing some kofta from Inter's side that they'll get some like Denzel Dumfries goal in the 67th minute and they'll win 1-0 or something.
Is that your score prediction?
I'm gonna go with like a 2-1 for Inter
2-1.
Milan. I think PSG will have some fight to them.
What do you think, Christian?
I've got 2-1, but PSG. I think they'll break through, and I think Inter will tie, and then I think PSG finishes them off with a Desiree Doué screamer.
Oh, Desiree Doué! Nice. Imagine scoring in the final. This is Inter Milan lost out to the Serie A. They can't lose out to this. This is everything. True. All the marbles are on this.
True.
So
they lost to the Serie A and they lost to the Cup too. So that's all what they're fighting for, from a treble to just down to one tournament.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to score, Inzaghi's going to come on the pitch and get a goal, dude. I'm telling you.
It's okay.
Amir, what do you think?
It's tough to predict this one, honestly. I feel like both coaches are more than capable of stopping each other. I personally think it's going to go to penalties. And if it goes to penalties, I have a feeling... I'm going to say PSG. PSG is going to win.
Can you imagine penalties, man? Oh, dude.
Yeah. It's just that I feel like with everything that we have seen this season, like all the small teams are not small teams anymore. PSG is a good team now, but all the teams winning their trophies have their like a trophy drought or even like the first trophy in like so many years. Maybe that's the trend. So I'm gonna go with the trend.
Would you give Summer an advantage as goalkeeper if it goes to penalties? But Donnarumma's been amazing this season, right?
Donnarumma is more experienced, and at that stage, of like playing finals, like even with Italy. And with PSG too, and AC Milan, he's played against that Inter side so many times, so like it's not gonna scare him to play against an Italian team in a shootout. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I have one. Do you guys think that this is going to be more of a low-scoring game, or do you think, as we saw with the Barcelona and Inter, tie, where it was like so free-flowing and high-scoring? I know that's not really traditional finals, but do you think that it could have the potential to be high scoring?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I honestly think if like one of the teams would finish the game in the original time, it's gonna be like a 1-0 like type of game.
Yeah. The reason why I said no is because those free flowing, high scoring games, it's always Barcelona that has to be involved in those games. Like their games are all like that. They don't really prioritize defense. They just want to go outscore you. So I just can't see that being how this game goes. And as we know, when Man City played the Inter Milan in the Champions League final, Italian teams historically like to slow the game down and make it very defensive and tactically. That's why I'm saying I if you get 2 goals on this Inter team, you should be like very thankful for that. So it'll be very high scoring, but I think it'll be really entertaining for the tacticians of the world, like Amir and stuff like that. So I think they're going to find this game really entertaining with the chess, the game of chess between the two managers.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah,
this is the last game of the season, boys.
Yeah. The last game.
Well,
we have the Club World Cup, so at least we're gonna have something to look forward to.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Amir, you think we'll have Ryan Sharkey in the building for the Club World Cup? Yeah, Ryan Sharkey.
I heard rumors that Man City are trying to finish all the transfers before the Club World Cup. I don't know how true is that, but
really,
it would be nice. Yeah,
that tells me that he actually cares about it, which I thought he didn't.
I don't know. We'll see.
I want Liverpool to finish, man. Liverpool is like on fire. Florian Wirtz, Kirkes, and Frimpong. We're about to.
Well, watch it. At the end, you're just gonna.
How are you gonna get these 4 guys? You're gonna get a left back, a right back, an attacking midfielder, and a striker. That's not like you guys.
Which striker? Yeah, I mean Florian
You
Wirtz
need
is
a
striker,
striker.
right? Or is he? Can Florian Wirtz play striker?
I think you guys are converting Mo Salah to a striker. Or
I
a
don't know, but
shadow
we're gonna
striker.
have money. I mean, we're gonna sell players, and we got the money from winning the Premier League. So I think we'll have enough funds after selling Nunez and Kelleher and Harvey Elliott and Diaz.
Amir, do you remember when Max was saying how could Man City possibly buy all these players in January? And you were like, well, we did win 4 Premier League titles in a row.
Yeah.
And now they win 1. And he's like, well, we're going to get Isak and we're going to get Birds and we're going to get all these guys. And we won 1.
We're not getting Isak.
PSR is coming for your butt, my friend.
We're selling players, though, instead. You guys didn't sell anybody.
What do you mean? Arsenal took like half our squad.
Yeah, for like pennies.
Nah, they paid good monies for those. We ripped them off.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, any final words before we shut it down?
No. See you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, we have one more episode.
Sounds good. All right, boys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, thank you for joining us. See you next time.
See ya.
See you guys.